Hey, we're back with another episode of BACC Talk. I'm Andy alongside the rest of these idiots I've got with me. We're missing the one idiot. I think, thank God, right? I don't think any one of us are sad that he's not here today. Today's episode is going to be brought to you by Miller Lite because we've got somebody who's a little light in the pants. It's just a little light in the pants, a little fluffy, a little scared, a little chicken shit. And we're talking about Jim Cornette. So we've been tweeting at him, trying to get him fired up, get him going with this. You know, if he wants to talk about pro wrestling and still thinks he can put on a better show up and do it. Take the challenge. Otherwise, say, hey, no thanks, I'm not interested. But this chicken shit blocked us on Twitter. So everybody out there now can go and he just ran from us. He straight up ran from us. He knows he's wrong. You know, there's an evolution to pro wrestling and everybody knows it. You know, the 80s type of pro wrestling wouldn't work today. And even the 80s pro wrestling evolved from the original pro wrestling. Pro wrestling is always evolving. And it's evolved to where it is today. And he hates it. Fine. Maybe he doesn't hate pro wrestling like I've been saying, but he hates the evolution of what is now pro wrestling. Am I wrong?
You're not wrong on that. You know, the evolution of the pro wrestling has just been amazing. Do I like the new product? Not like I did back in the 90s when I was a kid, but I still watch it. I still enjoy it.
Still entertained, right?
Right. That's what it's meant to be. It's sports entertainment. It's not like it's just wrestling like it was back in, like you said, the 80s, 90s. It's
in the 50s when people thought it was real, right? Like this, everybody in the world knows pro wrestling is not a real fight.
No,
so you got to change the. You got to have some evolution there in order to continue with the audience, to give them something to be entertained by. Because if you just send two guys out there to do a dance in the ring or tell a story over 6 weeks and makes people wait 6 weeks for the fight, it doesn't work. That's what we have boxing for, and boxing's falling apart anyway. So
yeah, it's weird. Boxing is that's just weird. Two guys are really bloodying each other up, and they don't even hate each other.
That's right.
And that's kind of like MMA in the same aspect. I think they play the part that they hate each other, but they're out there making their money. But they're also fighting hardcore. I mean, they're putting them. I mean, mixed martial arts. I mean, that's taken a lot of thunder away from boxing and wrestling all over.
That's right. So all we've been saying the whole time, right, is put a small show together, show us what your art of wrestling is, what type of wrestling that you like. We'll put a show together based on the type of wrestling that we like, and let it be known what type of wrestling is better. But I think he can't do it. He's scared. He's ran from us. He blocked us on Twitter. So everybody else, at the real Jim Cornette, go ahead and tweet him because we can't anymore. We can no longer tweet him. But other than that, tits up to everybody. Light beer to Jim Cornette.
Mountain Dew, nice.
No, green thing over there.
Other than that, guys, I had a pretty good week. I hope you guys did too. You know, I was in the car a couple days ago with Christina, and we were driving home from somewhere. I forget where, but I think down in Clarksville. We went to dinner, and we were coming back, and we were listening to the radio, and the Beastie Boys came on. And I started listening to some of this stuff, and then I go, you know what? We talked about my rapping days. I think there was a missed opportunity there. I could have been. Boys? Yeah, I should have been a Beastie Boy. You got Mike D, right? I could have been Andy. I mean, this guy literally somehow raps macaroni.
Yeah. I know that song.
And you rap Candy, so it's okay.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Don't you think I would have fit in really good with the Beastie Boys?
Andy, were you not into Beastie Boys growing up?
I mean, I
Was
was,
that not something you
yeah.
listened to?
Yeah, I know I listened
So you,
to them,
yeah.
but I think I should.
So you were definitely thinking about. You were definitely thinking about macaroni when you came up with Candy, Dandy, Handy, right? You were
Must
thinking
be.
of the Beastie Boys.
Yeah, yeah. And D's got the short shot. Like definitely
Andy's got something.
Definitely a
what.
little bit of a missed opportunity there. You know what I mean? Like,
I think you witnessed most of your potential. I think we're okay.
yeah.
Yeah, you were.
Well-
That was the peak right there. You were at the
Yeah,
peak.
we saw the peak, man. I don't want to see, I don't want to see it supernova. That can't be good.
Well, I apologize. This is, of course, recorded all at once, and my dogs are absolutely. There must be a rabbit in the backyard right now because they are going absolutely bananas.
You said rabbit, and the one looked right over at you like, yeah, there is.
I'm gonna have to get them out of the house here real quick. But,
What are your dogs' names? If you don't mind my asking.
Bruno, Bailey, and Callie.
Okay, you got 3 of them.
Yeah, so Bruno and Bailey are the two bigger mutts, and Callie is our princess beagle.
Cool, man.
Does
Good names.
Does whatever she wants. But other than that, I had a good week. I definitely thought I Beastie Boys would have been my place, and I missed that opportunity. But
Well, there's 2 of 3 left. You could join them now if they still tour.
I
Yeah,
mean,
one of them
maybe-
died, unfortunately.
Maybe we could make a song called Color Guard.
I'm sure they'd be down for it. They'd be tapping into their roots.
Absolutely.
It's funny, Beastie Boys are 3 guys, but as soon as you say Beastie Boys or anybody says Beastie Boys, I think of the one guy's voice only. That one. Everyone is. Yeah.
Mike
And I
D.
can't even think of I can't even think of a bar that he says. All I can just think of is his like the timbre of his voice. And I'm winning. I know there's the other guy. It's like,
Are you having
Yeah,
Are you
man.
having problems there, Justin? I know not everybody's watching.
well, I
this
mentioned
right
my hemorrhoid two weeks ago, so yeah, I'm kind of having issues with that.
now. Yeah, it looks
No,
like it.
I'm just trying to get stuff out of my way.
It's in your way. You can't drink. Beer.
I'm trying to organize my room like so I can fit where I'm at comfortably, and it's kind of like, all right, I'm there, I'm good.
He's trying to move furniture again.
Oh my god, I
Oh.
am. It's like that's a theme because it is a piece of
Jeez.
furniture.
So have you guys seen? We touched on it again last week. The whole Chris Rock thing and how that we thought real, fake, whatever. Did a little research. We'll go on into that in a minute. But have you seen how this thing is not dying? I just saw today
we're talking
how he finally said something, but he didn't say much. And then his mom's now talking.
Yeah, his mom's like, I don't know, when you see your kid get hit, you blah 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 blah, and it's like, yeah, how like I saw somebody comment like, who's next, grandma? What she has to think, you know?
But
Like, it's just
that's just it. So if they're not letting it die, there's a reason behind this.
or what's
telling
really
us
going
something.
on that they would rather not talk about. You know,
That's true too. But I'm
let this take up the media.
See, here we
Yeah,
are.
is
We're
it
back
hiding something else?
Yeah, they're like,
We're
yeah,
back.
keep the fires burning on this one.
or we're back to Jim Cornette. 6 weeks of promo to get a fight.
I can't believe I can't believe we got blocked. Like, that means something, right?
Maybe we
Yeah,
still
I
need
guess.
to
I
put
mean,
our
that-
show on.
Yeah. Well, we will. And so here's my thought. Okay, I did have a thought of, okay, what are we going to do? Because obviously he's a chicken shit and won't do it. We know he's not going to do it. He's a chicken shit. I think it's because he just doesn't think he can beat us. He doesn't think he can do it anymore. He knows that his era of pro wrestling will not get over with the fans. And it's just the truth. The evolution of the sport, of the entertainment has changed, and his Wwe won't get over with the fans. So here was my thought. Him and Vince Russo hate each other. So I'll bet we could reach out to Vince Russo and say, hey, Vince, you want to do this little competition with us as a little charity type of thing, and Vince Russo, of course, being one of the men kind of behind the growth of the Attitude Era and things of that sort, right? So maybe he'll do it, and then it'll just put a thorn into Cornette, since he when he sees Vince Russo doing this, and of course he's stepping up to do it because because Jim Cornette's a chicken shit. What do you think, Tony?
Yeah, I think he might, jump in and do something then, since other people's going to start getting involved. So, but yeah, maybe he'll unblock us then and actually talk to us instead of just running away and not even saying a word to us.
Not a word. Not a word. I mean, hell, you could have at least shot me a scathing message on Twitter before you blocked me. You know what I mean? Like, nothing. Just block. You're blocked because we don't want to hear this shit. We're scared. We can't do it. We know that you're right, Andy, and all the rest of the BACC Talk guys are right. We can't beat them.
Yeah, and the famous words of Roman Reigns, acknowledge me. So.
Well, that's acknowledgement. Being blocked is acknowledgement because now the world knows that we've been blocked by Jim Cornette because we let everybody know now. So everybody else can tweet at him. It's at the real Jim Cornette or something. You can all find him.
The Jim Cornette, I think.
It's his lackey too, Brian Last. At the great Brian Last, I think it is his lackey, and I think the one that really controls his social media to begin with. So get at him as well. But other than that, good week. Justin, what you got going on this past week? Anything good? Any more moving of furniture?
I sprained my ankle. That's about it. And I spent a day or two with that whole bullshit. Freaking hurts, man.
That sucks.
You guys ever broken feet or ankles or anything?
Not broke, sprained.
Yeah. How bad was it?
I did it in football like when I was in high school and taped it up, went out and started playing.
Oh my god. Yeah.
My coach always told me, are you hurt or are you injured? So that's the question I got to ask you. Are you hurt or are you injured? Like, are you hurt? Can you still participate? Or are you injured? You're out for a while.
Well, if I did play football, let's just say I wouldn't be playing football yesterday or today. You wouldn't want me for a pickup game. Yeah. Yeah, no. It's pretty bad. I mean, I thought I was going to go into Aldi. I don't know if you have these stores, but I got there and I just couldn't go inside. I was just like, no, I can't walk that much. I mean, I just realized it's still hurting. So that's about it.
The question is how? Did you
were you doing something freaky? Were you doing something freaky when it happened?
No, I sort of, be careful with this, guys. I'm just going to tell you, like, don't turn around and go down steps. Make sure you're approaching those steps for a while in the same direction, because I sort of knew the steps were behind me in this case, and I turned around and started, and then I guess my heel missed that step and just went, and then when I finally hit the ground, like 4 steps down, I just went on my ankle sideways, and I just was like, oof. And,
so not only did you hurt your ankle, but you bruised your ego falling down the stairs.
I did, because I was like, I knew the steps were there, and I took the step, but like I just remember turning around and walking down. It's just not a good combination.
No.
So when we get your bobblehead made, it'll be one of you falling down the stairs.
You could get like one with the leg raised and like the ankle's like, Get
him one with those little carts with the leg up.
But somebody asked me, did you hear a pop? Did you hear anything? I said, thankfully, no. It just was like...
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah, it was just... I cringe. I feel the pain, and then I cringe thinking about how it happened, because it was just such a horrible moment. I was like, oh, that was so bad. If I saw somebody else do that, I would feel it. So,
honestly, that pop or whatever, if it happens. My senior year, I was sitting on the bench for basketball, and teammate of mine came down by us, right by me, and he twisted his ankle, and all you heard was a pop. And my football coach actually said behind me, he goes, "Did you hear the pop?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, it's tore an ACL." I mean, but that noise, you just don't forget about it. I mean, I'll never forget that sound that I heard that night.
Oof. That's about it.
I've never broken an ankle or done anything like that, or broken a bone, or
I've broken this hand probably about 6 times.
I've got bad knees. I've got bad shoulders from years, playing hockey and that kind of stuff. But luckily, never any serious injuries. So, which was good, because I was explaining to somebody the other night when they couldn't do it nowadays because I'm old and slow. So I couldn't play the game I used to play, but I was light and fast when I was young, so I used to pick on the biggest guys on the rink, but they couldn't catch me. Funny story was my now wife, when we were dating. I was probably I don't even remember, but we were playing a Sunday morning men's league in Philadelphia, in a rough part of Philadelphia, and so a lot of kind of goons on the rink. And when we were dating, I took her for the first time to go watch us play, and all the other guys were a little older than me. Most of them were married, so they were watching the game, and I did something, I don't know, again, picking on the biggest guy in the rink or something, and the wives just turn to her and go, "Doesn't he know how small he is?" I was just stupid. Nowadays, I do that, I get my ass kicked. So,
I've honestly never ice skated a day in my life. I live in Minnesota. Never ice skated, but I can rollerblade really, really good.
you're not a Minnesotan.
No, I'm not. Never ice skated a day in my life. I got into rollerblades, and that was about what I
bet you Justin's even ice skated.
Yeah, I'm a hold the wall kind of guy, though.
What about you, Tony?
I bet you can still
skated?
No, I have never ice skated. So
people tell me with how good I can rollerblade, I should be able to ice skate, but I don't know. Just never. Shouldn't say I never had the chances to, but
so there is a difference between roller and ice, and I played both, right? So when you get on your rollerblades, the feeling is that the wheels and everything want to throw your body forward, whereas when you're on the ice, the blades want to kind of take your body backwards.
I'd fall down right away for sure. Then
that's why you see everybody all the time when they get out on the ice for the first time or whatever. They don't fall flat. They always fall with their feet flying up in the air right on their rear ends.
I'll take that in mind. I'll definitely hop on some skates at some point in my life. Just never really had the chance, I guess.
Yeah, I could see Justin doing like the figure skating maybe.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait till my ankle's better, and then because there was just something always so tightening about the foot when I roller skated or ice skated. Just the feeling that you're like your foot is just compressed. Each foot is compressed like so tight. That's just what I remember, and that is already like a weird thing to start off with. But I bet you're pretty agile. You still get on the still skate a lot?
No, I could still skate, but I don't.
Yeah, it just never goes away, right?
Yeah, it's like riding a bike to me. I mean, I grew up on the ice playing the game, and so to me, it's like riding a bike. I don't nearly have the skill or the speed or anything that I used to have, but taking the kids out.
But have you gotten on? Yeah, I was going to ask if you go ice skating. I keep saying roller skating. If you go ice skating, just recreationally.
Yeah, we got the boys into some ice hockey when we first moved out here, and it's not readily available. You got to drive a little bit, but they enjoyed getting on the ice and stuff like that. So it was time for me to get on the ice with them, which was nice and fun. So, which was cool around here because, like, where we come from, Justin, it's expensive to play. It's a popular sport, right? Here, all the rinks are owned by the townships, like the Parks and Rec. So they actually get donations for equipment and loan the equipment to the kids to come out and play the house leagues and stuff. So it's not as expensive for the people to get, for kids to get out there and try it. It's pretty cool.
The way it should be.
Yeah.
Should definitely make that available in music, and theater, of course. Make that stuff available for people that want to get into it, because some of that stuff can be pretty costly,
Oh yeah.
I remember half the reason why my brother didn't go into hockey is because it would have cost my mom so much money.
Right.
Ice hockey, because he's really good. He's always loved the Flyers. So
Yeah,
my
it's
brother. Go ahead, Andy.
it's an easy $8,000 to $1,000, and probably more than that now for the equipment.
Yeah, my brother wanted to get his son into hockey. He's 5 years old now, and he realized that how expensive that sport can get.
Mm-hmm.
Football. You go out for football in school, you get your pads given to you.
Yeah.
I mean,
kill yourself for us. Here you go.
Yeah, there's a helmet that'll barely fit your head. But no, I mean, he realized how expensive that sport can get, because every year you're gonna have to buy new equipment and keep going up.
Right.
It's how it goes.
Well,
Talking
Tony,
about
how's
school
your week,
equipment.
man? Oh, sorry, Justin. Go ahead.
Well, just real quick, talking about my school equipment story. You all heard last week how bad I am at sports. Well, you have to play in gym, and I picked softball when you could choose. And one time I was out in the outfield, and a ball went through my glove, literally like a pop fly. And as I'm trying to figure it out, the teacher's yelling, "What, do you got a hole in your glove?" Because that's what you say, And I've heard that before, because I've legitimately not caught the ball. But this time I caught the ball, and when I looked down, I did have a hole in the glove. So I grab, when you run out, it's time for your turn. You switch teams. You go out in the outfield, you grab the glove, and you go out and you field. And then you come back when, whatever. So I grabbed the glove that had a hole in it. So I was like, it does have a hole in it. I was like, only happens to me. Anyway, I didn't mean to cut Tony off.
Tony, what's going on?
How's your week been?
How's your week?
It wasn't bad.
You're muted.
He done muted himself again.
You done muted yourself.
It wasn't bad. He became a mime.
Yeah.
He had a eventful week.
Tony doesn't
You
know
don't remind me.
He doesn't know what to do when we ask him to talk.
He's dodging the question, man. What did he do this week?
I don't know. He just
guys are watching on
us.
YouTube.
He doesn't want to show us. Does he have something on his neck?
Yeah, if you guys are just listening, you're not watching us on YouTube, his camera went after he
Now
went
he's
mute.
just streaming.
Now he wants us to watch a stream.
I think he
You guys
just
definitely got to go over to
Cornette us,
YouTube
for
and check
sure.
this out. There he is.
Well, at least he's not sideways.
I will be.
Or upside down.
Hey,
So-
There you go.
man.
So now that
Technology's
done-
amazing.
now that you're done Jim Cornetting us, what?
Yeah, he blocked us. We asked him how his week was. He blocked us.
Yeah, I'm done. You guys are making me talk.
Fuck you guys. You're talking shit. It wasn't bad. I took a vacation day Friday, played a little golf. I still suck, but it was my first time out this year, so it's okay. Other than that, went and seen the family, seen the granddaughter, so yeah, she's
Good
a big
deal.
brat.
Good deal. So,
Just like
so
my
you
son.
say you still suck, but it was your first time out, so it was okay. So, are you looking for any type of improvement off of this this round that you just had? Because I doubt you'll get any by when the fall comes.
I might get some improvement. It was testing out the new 3-wood. That's mainly what it was, just to get adjusted to that thing. So,
And you can't hit that straight just like all the other clubs, is what you're telling me.
no, I hit that one pretty well most of the time. So,
Okay. And
better
what'd
than
you
my
score?
driver. A
What'd you-
lot.
A lot. In 9 holes, a lot.
Isn't that the point of golf? To get to a higher number? Isn't that the goal? In golf?
I wish.
Now, I don't know sports, and I'm saying totally that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah,
Because that's what I did when I went to play golf.
Justin gets it.
Yeah, see? I always have the high score at mini golf.
Well, good. I mean, are you the type that gets up there with the mini golf and you're like, screw this, and you try and swing the putter like a driver?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I try to get it in the hole the first time every time. And then...
But you've had trouble doing that?
Yeah, and then, yeah.
Is that an ongoing problem?
Ever since I quit drinking, yeah.
Now he started again.
That's why I'm starting again. I need to get it in the hole the first time again. Yeah. Yeah. I fucking love miniature golf, though. Oh, shit.
Tony just cornetted us again.
He didn't like that one.
No, I wanted to golf this weekend, but our course is finally opened here up in Minnesota, some of them. But we had like 70, 80 mile an hour winds. It would have been good on a couple holes, but bad on others.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because Tony messaged me. He says, "Hey, you're going to work on Friday?" And I was like, "Yeah." I knew he wanted to play golf, and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm going to work, but also Friday I had to get ready." I helped host a charity event Friday night. With the Tyler Daniels Racing iRacing Group and BACC Charities, which is one of our partners with BACC Brands, and they did a charity race to raise funds for the Autism Nature Trail at Letchworth State Park in New York. And I was in the broadcast booth here on BACC Sports, broadcasting the race with Tommy.
Upside down A-Bear.
I had to take care of that. That was a ton of fun, and we actually had a guest in our booth too, Argo from the podcast Film Heat. And this Film Heat podcast is pretty cool. I don't mind touting other people's stuff, so go ahead and download it, check it out. It's Film Heat. So what they do is they do bracketed style elimination movie reviews. So because they were actually partnering with the charity as well for their latest episode, they did racing movies. To all of our disagreement, Days of Thunder did not win the best movie, and I do think these guys are a little bit full of shit because they don't know what racing's all about. They're just kind of looking at it as a movie thing, judging it based on a movie. But Days of Thunder by far was a true more of a true representation of what the racing life is
Scientology.
like. Yeah.
No, they did 6 movies in that one. It was Days of Thunder, Talladega Nights, the first Fast and Furious, Gumball Rally, Death Race 2000, and I think Speed Racer was the last one in their bracket.
Yeah.
Pretty good episode.
And so Days of Thunder made it to the final against.
No, don't let it out. Let them watch for it.
Oh.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't spoil it. We know Days of Thunder didn't lose. It didn't win.
Didn't win. So, yeah, Days of Thunder didn't win because these guys are full of shit. So, I'm telling you out there, Argo, you guys are full of shit. And I fully expect
you could say spoiler. You could say spoiler warning and then give it away. But if people want to
spoiler warning, Argo, you guys are full of shit.
Spoiler warning. You're going to say what won. Like, if you want to go watch it first, then we'll tell you.
Go check out. Go check out Film Heat. Maybe we'll come back next week and talk about what the.
Give you some time to watch it after you heard Andy tell you about it.
Yeah.
From what
if you're watching it on. If you're watching it on the YouTube,
any way you can watch any podcast.
Yeah, and we'll put the link to their Facebook page up on.
It's Film Heat. Film Heat.
Right.
Should come up because it came up for me right away.
Yeah, they got Facebook pages, Instagrams. They got a lot of that stuff. They did pretty good work. It was fun watching that episode Friday night or Saturday night.
And Dustin,
with Tommy in there.
So, Dustin, I hope you had a good week, but you were involved in the charity event.
Yeah, I was. It's always fun to race in those charity events that BACC Charities puts on. Took home second in the race. I was happy with that. Couldn't catch Ryan Shelton, but no one could catch him anyway. But we had a good time. Raised some good money for that for the Autism Nature Trail and Larch. What's the name of the town, Andy? I don't remember it up here. I want to say Larchwood because that's Larchwood, Iowa, just south of me.
Letchwood. It's Letchwood State Park, yeah,
in New York, and right by Tyler. I mean, yeah. Tyler's a great guy. Race with him all the time. But no, great event. Raised some good money for the nature trail there. Andy, that had to be surreal being back in the booth. It's been a while.
Yeah, they booted me from the booth because I joined BACC Talk, and they're afraid that I'm not going to be able to watch my mouth because that's a family friendly broadcast where this is I can basically tell Justin to fuck off if I want to. So
please do. I need to. I think that's the only time I've ever heard you curse. I mean, we've cursed, but I don't think I've heard you curse, Andy. So for you to have the bad mouth, it's like.
Oh, Andy curses like a sailor.
Well, I told you earlier.
I've noticed.
I already told you earlier that Argo and Film Heat's full of shit. Is shit not a curse?
That's true. No, I don't think shit's a curse. And I don't know who's holier than thou.
That's a whole other topic.
Every parent I've ever been around is letting it fly in front of their kids, so I don't know where they think they're not hearing these words. Oh, you know what I mean? It's just like...
Where'd they get that from? Why is Johnny saying that?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't exactly remember what it was, but my wife was telling a story to somebody the other day about our youngest. And they were in school, and somebody said something, and all the kids were being rowdy, and my youngest just goes, "These nuts!" And I'm like, oh, good Lord.
Got him!
Got him! They're not from Daddy.
Oh, man. You know what sucks? Do you know that song? These eyes, do-do-do-do-do, cry every night for you. I swear to God, I thought I was the cleverest motherfucker in the world one night when I said, I'm going to play that song live and change it to These Nuts. These Nuts, do-do-do-do-do. You know, and then it writes itself. Well, there's a band, I don't know if you guys know this, I love this band. They're from New Hope, Pennsylvania. They're called Wwe. They're a duo, and they make, like, funny-ass songs. They've been around forever. But they do a lot of covers live, and they actually, I typed in These Nuts song, and of course they came up. They had done that version since like 2002. I'm like, you motherfuckers. But at least it's a band I love, and I'm like, of course they came up with that.
So is Wwe like a derogatory kind of slang cuss word too?
Yeah, it's
depending on how you're using it. Because that may have been why Jim Cornette blocked us, because I said something about he always is saying that people want to play with Vince McMahon's ween.
Well, ween for them is penis and wiener, so they put those two together and got the name Wwe. But
Right.
they were like adolescent when they started the band, so and they never let go of that humor. They're like all like 50 something now, and they're still doing these old songs, but and then they're changing These Eyes to These Nuts, and doing other covers.
I just wonder, and if anybody tweets at Jim Cornette or emails him, because you can go on and if you ever listen to his podcast, you don't even have to listen to his podcast. Just go to his podcast page and it lists his email right there, and you can email him. And he's supposed to answer questions from the email on the show. So just email on him and ask him if the reason he blocked BACC Talk is because they said ween.
Yeah. Well, no, he blocked us before we said that.
No. I said ween like a couple days ago.
Oh, did you?
In a message.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So we could still email him.
We could, yes.
Yeah. We got to make a BACC Talk email.
Next thing you know, I'm going to get like an attorney letter or something.
Yeah, well, that's the ultimate, man. That's ultimate.
Right?
That's even better.
That's the ultimate acknowledgement.
If we get the good old cease and desist, we've won. I just don't understand why he's such a pussy, to be honest with you. Why is he such a pussy, Tony?
I can't even answer that. Just not even a clue why. I mean, come on. You just all the stuff you've done in your years of wrestling, that you say, and come on.
I mean, isn't this what it's about? Isn't this how you get somewhere? You throw a scathing promo at somebody, and they're supposed to respond, not put their tail between their legs and run away.
Exactly. Yeah. You're supposed to fire back, not just I'm just gonna block you, forget about you. No, you gotta fire back at them. So. Exactly. I don't know if we'll ever get that.
He obviously doesn't understand the pro wrestling game anymore if he doesn't understand the promo, I suppose.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I've never really understood the blocking because everybody can just go make another one and go at it again.
Yeah, but we're not going to do that. I mean,
but I'm just saying.
I've got all you guys, and of course, all of us are behind the BACC Talk Twitter account. So everybody go follow BACC Talk on Twitter, by the way, and retweet our stuff about Jim Cornette so that you all can also become part of the Blocked of Cornette crew. He likes to call his people the Cult of Cornette, and we'll have the Blocked of Cornette crew. So we'd love to see who else can get blocked by Cornette.
Well, I'll probably be the next one because I just started a Twitter for this very reason. So, I'll pretty much mirror what you've been saying and see if I get blocked next.
Nice.
So you can keep making the tweets from BACC Talk, and then I could just retweet at him.
There you go.
And then I'll get blocked for doing so. I figure that's how it's gonna roll. So.
Yeah, we'll see if he'll block the whole crew. Yeah. Follow Justin
we all
the Person.
Get our own Twitter pages.
Yeah. So at Justin the Person, at Tony Woo. Is it woo?
No, isn't it? Yeah, Tony Woo Boo or Tony Woo. Heck, I can't even remember anymore.
He doesn't even know his own Twitter handle.
I made a new one. I don't know.
Do you have one, Dustin? Do you have a Twitter?
I have my personal one. I'm gonna make a Money Guns one, I think, since that's my kind of title here. Have a BACC Talk one.
Don't really see the
money.
Otherwise,
I'm Belty 23.
Did you spend all your money on hookers? Because I don't see the money today.
I don't have as much as I had last week. I spent a lot of it.
Stocks and bonds, right?
You did have a good week, huh?
Oh, I had a good week. Yeah, good week at work. Good week with family and friends. We had my nephew's birthday and my godson's birthday this past weekend. Did a little celebration yesterday for that. Other than that, racing the charity race like you brought up earlier. Iconic race. Sunday morning, 500 miles at Talladega. I don't know why we do that, but it's fun. No, but other than that, it was a good week. Did some racing. Worked at the racetrack a little bit. Had some meetings with that. So, getting ready for our first race of the season here on May 13th.
Good deal. What else is going on in your life? What you been thinking about lately? I know you're a football guy. We got some big dates coming up, right?
Yeah, we got the NFL draft coming up this weekend. I know Tony and Justin, I don't know if they're fully into NFL, but the NFL draft.
No,
go ahead.
I thought NFL draft was a beer.
Well, it could be. We should make one.
I'm gonna reach out to my beer brewers that I know and see if they'll make us.
Let's make an NFL draft.
You guys want a lager, an IPA? What is the?
I'll go with ale. Everybody likes an ale, I think, right?
Actually, Andy, if you got some lagers out there, let's get some BACC Talk draft.
BACC draft. Oh my God! And NFL draft.
Yeah. No, but with this NFL draft coming up, I mean, I know Andy, you're a big Colt fan. You live right by there, but you're also a Viking fan. Is that right?
Oh yeah, man, and well, I'm not so much a Viking fan as I am a Kirk Cousins fan, which everybody's going to hate me for because everybody thinks Kirk Cousins sucks, but nobody actually looks at his numbers, right?
Right.
Matt Ryan wins the MVP one year and ends up, you look at his numbers the year he wins the MVP versus Kirk Cousins' numbers the same year, and they're exactly identical. The guy throws 300 yards a game, couple touchdowns. He doesn't turn the ball over as much as everybody says he does, but he's never had an offensive line around him. So when you don't have time to throw or time to think, you're going to make mistakes, right? And when you don't have a defense around you, like Minnesota doesn't have a defense, you're not going to win games. So you can't put this on Cousins. And the reason I'm a Cousins fan, so I guess I'll give you a little background, is as you see, I am a diehard Michigan State fan. And I remember seeing Kurt play in the Big Ten championship here in Indianapolis against Russell Wilson with Wisconsin. And Michigan State actually had that game won. They blocked a punt towards the end of the game, and someone ran into the punter, and they got a penalty for running into the punter. Gave the ball back to Wisconsin, and Wisconsin went down and won the game.
Yeah.
Now, why you're going after the punt to begin with, I don't know, because you got the game in hand. Just receive the punt, but and ever since that I've hated Russell Wilson. But I'm always a Kirk Cousins fan. I was a Redskin fan. And I will call them the Redskins. When I was on the East Coast, I was a season ticket holder of the Redskins. So
Commanders now.
Yeah, Redskins. And
What is it?
They're the Commanders now. Pretty sure, right, Andy?
Really?
Yeah, you're not allowed to. Redskins apparently derogatory unless you're an Indian. You like the name. I don't know. There's a whole debate around that. I don't even.
They went from the Washington Redskins to the Washington football team. Now they're the Washington Commanders. It's kind of like the Cleveland Indians. They're not the Cleveland Indians no more. They're the Cleveland Guardians.
Yeah.
Oh.
But you still have the Braves.
Another area.
But you still have the Braves and the Blackhawks, so I don't understand
Chiefs.
this whole thing, right? Yeah, Chiefs.
Yeah, you got the Chiefs still, right? I mean, what's
Seminoles.
next?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different names out there. That's topic for another conversation, I think.
Yeah. So
I think we can go pretty deep in that.
I was a diehard Redskin fan, season ticket holder. So as a diehard Michigan State fan, Cousins going to Washington for me was the ultimate, right? Had no team around him, no offensive line, didn't have a running back like he's got in Minnesota now with Dalvin Cook.
That's pretty good. Wide
But he
out.
still put up numbers, put up MVP type numbers. Well, they
Just gotta
treated
win
him
the games.
they treated him like garbage, tossed him out like he was nothing. He goes to Minnesota. At that point, my bleeding green went over my bleed for burgundy and gold, and I became a Minnesota Viking fan. Now we're out here. Now we live out here in Indiana, about an hour south of Indianapolis. So we bought season tickets for the Colts. So we're kind of Colts fans now too. But yeah.
Well, with the Cousins stuff and the Vikings, the Colts play the Vikings in Minnesota this year. You should maybe make a trip to Minneapolis. I'll take you to U.S. Bank for your first game at U.S. Bank, and you can watch Cousins there.
I might have to, although I'm a little scared of Minnesota.
Well, I am too. Well, hopefully it's a noon game and they're all sleeping.
I don't know that I want to go to Minneapolis. Like, you hop
on the tram, you go into the stadium, you get back on the tram, you're out of there. It's pretty simple.
I don't know if they're still burning down the city or not.
But you brought up a pretty good point with Russell Wilson with Wisconsin. Big Ten has produced some pretty good quarterbacks.
Oh yeah,
Tom Brady came out of Michigan.
Drew Brees out of Purdue. Russell Wilson. Yep.
I mean, they produce some pretty good players. They don't get noticed like the SEC does, but down south. But so you lost a quarterback, but you gained a quarterback in Indy.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
How do you feel about that?
I don't know. Well, good and bad, because I'm thanking God every day we got rid of Carson Wentz.
But Carson Wentz got a pretty good contract in Washington.
That's what they do in Washington. Because Bruce Smith got a pretty big contract in Washington too, at the end of his career and didn't do shit. So Washington likes to say, "Oh, you have good fantasy numbers one year. Let us sign you for a boatload of money." That's kind of what Washington does. I don't know. It's another thing with Matt Ryan here. I like the guy. I think he's going to do good, but it's another. Now, what the hell's his name that was there before Wentz?
Philip Rivers.
Yeah, Rivers.
Tony actually said it. That was just helping you out.
In my thought process is it's just another Philip Rivers. This is going to be a one and done. And how do you build a team when now you've had your third quarterback in 3 years and you don't even know if this one's going to stick around very long?
And when you got more than likely a top 2 running back in Indy.
Top 2,
if not the best.
He is the best running back in the
Between
league.
him and Henry, I'm not going to get in that argument, but I love Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor's a good running back. He won me a fantasy title. So, but speaking of Jonathan Taylor, pretty sure he was out of Wisconsin as well, wasn't he? Pretty sure.
Yes, he's another Badger.
But no, good running back behind him. He's got some decent wideouts there. I mean, I guess the question is, if the Colts have Matt Ryan last year, do they make the playoffs because they couldn't beat the Jaguars?
Probably. The Jaguars game was nothing. That game meant nothing when you look at the season because Carson Wentz single-handedly lost 3 games for the Colts last year. You win any one of those 3 games, and they're in the playoffs. So I don't even look at that game as the reason they missed the playoffs. I look at the 3 games that Carson Wentz lost for them.
So now we're kind of talking about the draft too. What are you looking for the Colts to get? Colts or the Vikings?
The Colts got to build their defense. They got
the
to
Vikings
build their
have to
defense too. Because other than the 3 games that Wentz lost for them, the Colts would jump out to leads every game, much like the Vikings did last year, but couldn't hold them. The defense couldn't hold the leads for the, when you have a 21-point lead and you lose games, that's your defense.
Right. I mean, the draft, I don't think the draft class is as stout as what it has been in the past. It's not a strong class. It's strong and heavy in wide receivers. It's wide receivers about a dime a dozen this year, which makes Debo. Debo's out there looking for a trade, but who's going to pick him up when you can pick up a wide receiver at a dime a dozen through the draft? Well, that's an interesting concept with Debo. There, a lot of them. You look at some of these wideouts that are getting paid big now. You look at Devontae Adams got paid big to be in Las Vegas. Hey, Christian Kirk, I don't know how he got the contract he did in Jacksonville, but he got a pretty big contract as well. So with Debo, though, he's used as a running back and a wideout. Does that hurt him getting the contract he wants?
I don't know if it hurts him. What hurts him is the fact that there's a dime a dozen wide receivers in the draft.
Right.
It will shorten his career playing those 2 positions.
By far.
Because the lifespan of a running back is a lot shorter than a wide receiver.
Correct.
And once they get used and abused by teams, you don't see long-term contracts anymore for running backs. They use them, abuse them for 3-4 years, and you move on. It's just the way of the running back now. So, what you got to ask is Tony, what he,
right?
He's
been nodding his head a lot. You're a Bengal man?
I am the Bengals fan. Yes.
Well, so going into last year, when you guys got Jamar Chase in the first round, were you excited, or were you hoping they went somewhere else?
Oh no, yeah, you got to be happy with Jamar Chase right there. He is a top receiver, so very excited to get him into the jungle. So yeah, we went farther than anybody expected last year, especially going into Kansas City in that title game, winning that, and then heading into the Super Bowl. So it was real nice for the Bengals last year.
I will be honest with the Bengals there in that AFC title game. I was really hoping for Bengals Bills, but a good game.
Yeah.
But I was pulling for the Bengals. I turned into a big Josh Allen fan, so I kind of turned into a Bills fan. But I was pulling for the Bengals all the way through because Jamar Chase is an awesome wideout. Joe Burrow is an awesome quarterback.
Yeah, we all thought it was going to be a couple years before we reached that, point. But hey, we'll take last year and build on it again this year. So they signed some free agents in the offseason to protect Burrow. So that's what we're going to do.
And that's the big thing there is Burrow actually ran a lot in the backfield and the couple of games I got to see of theirs. But, bolstering that offensive line, I could see it hurting but helping him as well just because he likes to be mobile, but you got to keep him safe in that same aspect.
Yep. Definitely have to keep him safe.
And Justin, just out of curiosity, no, you're not the biggest football fan, but is your favorite position tight end?
Is that a real position?
It is a real
hilarious.
position.
That's hilarious. That's like, imagine, so people run home from high school and be like, Dad, I made the football team. I made tight end. Like, that happens? Okay.
It happens. Yep. It happens.
Wow. How many double entendres?
Pretty much they're offensive linemen that can catch the ball.
I mean, so you not being a football fan, you still have to know who Rob Gronkowski is, right?
I heard of him, yeah.
He's on all the commercials and MTV.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
He's a tight end.
Yeah, that's how I know him then. And because gotcha.
He's Tom Brady's tight end.
Oh, is he really? So what's a tight end then? Like, how did they come up with that name?
I have no idea.
But you're saying they're what's it called that can catch?
It's kind of an offensive lineman that can catch. They block, but a lot of them catch the ball. They're kind of like the third or fourth wideout, but they stay in and help chip block for the quarterback.
Okay.
Kind of thing. I don't know how they came up with the word tight end because I'm guessing it's right end or by the right end, so it's a tight end, not a wideout. They're not a wide receiver. They're a tight end. I don't know if that's how they came up with it, but that's how I envision it.
Maybe they just gave the tightest pants.
The very first one was like, man, that guy. We don't know if we really need him. We'll give him these. They didn't know if they had limited supply, and they're like, I don't know. We kind of need somebody here. We only have one shitty pair of pants left, and then they gave it to the guy that took that position. Yeah. How many positions are there on we'll go with offense, I guess.
11 players on the field.
Okay, and how many
center, 11.
Okay.
11.
Okay. 11,
so
be like, oh man.
Yeah, if you're looking at like an offense, you'd have your center, 2 offensive guards, 2 offensive tackles, running back, quarterback, tight end, and a couple wideouts. Depends how you want to go into formation. You got a fullback in there as well.
Now you said wide out?
Yeah, wide receiver.
Okay.
Short.
So there's tight ends and receivers.
Yep.
In football.
Okay. And other things.
And a center.
They have those and other things too.
The quarterback goes underneath to get the ball.
Yeah. The quarterback has to go up to the center, reach underneath his asshole, basically, tickle his taint a little bit to get the football.
Yeah, you know what? Back when they were called, whatever they were called, they made a movie. John Krasinski was in it. Leatherheads. Back when they were called Leatherheads, they used to be called Touch the Tainers.
Yes.
Quarterbacks were first known as Touch the Tainers, and then I just made that up, but I just remember they used to play without helmets.
Well, that's like Andy touched on the evolution of wrestling back in the earlier in the show, and how about the evolution of football? You went from leather helmets to what they're in now. I mean, half the receivers and players don't wear knee pads anymore.
It was also give it to one guy and let him run, and that was it. There was no throwing in the original game.
Oh no!
It was basically kill the man with the ball.
Yeah,
Kill the
I can
carrier,
imagine.
like we used to play when we were kids. Kill the
That's
carrier.
more fun to watch, honestly.
Yeah, that's
You know?
that's what it was. It was
Right.
stripped down rugby.
Now it's become chess.
Yeah, with tight ends and receivers. You know, and going for deep balls.
Yeah, there's none of that nitty-gritty anymore.
You know,
Well,
the
everybody's
receivers,
ended up, you know,
receivers are
everybody's
always
getting
going
brain
for
damage
deep
and shit
balls.
from it, you know? Everybody's like posthumously. I don't know, how do you say this word? Posthumously. Posthumously?
Well,
Past death.
yeah. Well,
They're
and what
being
you're
found out to have
talking with
CTE.
there, you know, like I always hate the conversation about how good was this guy, like LeBron and Jordan. You know, the age style. You know, the differences in the style of play. Then, but like you look at football, you know, with all the concussions and everything going on, they got concussion protocols in there. You know, I mean, look at what was his name, Junior Seau, went off the deep end, and all that happened. But concussions are a real thing. I think I've had a couple in my life. I've watched my brother get one, like right in front of my face. He blacked out. Everything was fine. He left. It was actually at softball. We were playing slow pitch softball. Went home, and my mom called. Something happened at softball. I'm like, not really. Well, your brother's acting weird. I mean, he couldn't remember nothing. Concussions are a whole different aspect of the world. Like, I literally watched a doctor walk in. I'm going to tell you a word. I'll be back in a half an hour to get it back. He goes, the word's apple. Literally walked out the door, came back in. He had no idea. He goes, you told me a word? Concussions are a whole different aspect of the world. I feel bad for some of these football players that get banged in the head. Like, you look at offensive linemen, defensive linemen, they're banging helmets constantly.
Yeah, you wonder, like you said, they changed from leather or whatever. It's like you wonder if the helmet's doing worse to the head inside of it. You know?
Right.
I don't know.
mean, I guess I never really thought about that. But, I mean, but back in, Andy said it, back then, they gave the ball to somebody and they just ran down the field. You watch some of these old highlights of older players and there's no one around them by 50 yards. They're not full bore hiking the ball and meeting in the middle.
Initially, why they call it football anyway, too? It's like very rarely. Was there more feet involved, I guess? Because you're saying they usually just hand the ball. Now it just seems like more of like a handball thing, I guess, because of the throwing. But I could assume if they started out by just handing it to somebody, there was more feet involved, hence the name. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess I don't know how they really got the name football. I never really looked back in the history of it. I hear football, I think of soccer as well.
Yeah.
Well, they
As
just said
everybody else
They
called
said
it.
fuck soccer. That's a pussy sport, which is another whole nother show that I have planned for us about soccer. Because if you get sneezed on, you fall down and die.
Before we move
That was
on,
the NBA.
The NBA is turning into a bunch of protesters at Minnesota Timberwolves games right now.
That also gets sneezed
I don't know
on
if you
and fall
guys
over.
have heard. I don't know if you guys have heard about these.
Yeah. So I heard that stuff about that. But did you see what happened this weekend at Yankee Stadium?
No, I did not.
Yes.
So Tony has. So Tony, go ahead and tell us what you saw and what
Something about George Costanza?
George Costanza.
He works there. Anything could happen.
So Cleveland and Yankees this weekend. I can't remember the guy's name. I remembered it earlier, but outfielder for Cleveland. I didn't get to see the whole story about it, but basically Yankees fans just throwing trash onto the field on this guy, and then all you see him talking about, the city sucks and everything, and it's just more pouring on New York fans.
So here's the rest of it. So it started out, I guess some guys were giving him some shit in the stands, and I don't know if he turned around, said something to him. Somebody throws something at him. This outfielder climbs the wall to yell at the fans. Now he stays on the playing field, like on his
the
side
Cleveland
of the
player?
wall. Yeah.
Yeah,
Stays on his side of the wall to scream at these fans. Well, next thing you know, the next ball hit out in the outfield, they're just chucking shit all over the place. Water bottles, beers, whatever they can get their hands on, just completely littering the field in New York after this guy. To the point where it was Judge and who's the other big guy?
Stanton.
Judge and Stanton went out to the outfield to tell these people to stop throwing shit.
What, this is the Yankees players now?
Yeah, those are the Yankee players, yep.
They're speaking on behalf of their fucking field, basically.
Yeah, and this is not the first time this season that this kind of shit has happened at Yankee Stadium. And so I was watching something on ESPN today, and it was on MLB Network, and they were talking about it, and they were saying, you just let anybody in. Half the people that go to the baseball games are there to get drunk and don't care about the game, and you're sitting on top of the players at Yankee Stadium, which is part of it, right? That's the thing of Yankee Stadium. Like, going in there as an opposing player, the fans are on top of you, right? But this is out of control.
Right.
Yeah, it sounds like you're talking about Philly.
Yeah.
Don't get me started on Philly fans.
Yeah, well, go ahead.
No, you don't want to get me started on Philly.
It's probably why I never got into sports. Probably why I never got into professional sports, because I would naturally like the Phillies, or Philadelphia teams, and would hate everybody around me at the games.
Philadelphia had it win a Super Bowl in Minnesota. I mean, come on. They destroyed everything.
Yeah. Oh man, we could talk. That's in the future show.
Listen.
Future shows here.
Yeah, we got so many future shows.
Philadelphia fans to destroy half the city that your own people have destroyed. Okay.
Exactly, I agree.
One dude ain't horse shit. I mean, enough said. Literally.
So before we move on to our next topic, I have one more question for Andy. I've asked a few people this, and all you guys, if you watch the NFL. Yeah, where's Waldo? I think he's right there. So the AFC West, looking at 4 quarterbacks on 4 teams there that are pretty good. Who's the best quarterback in the AFC West right now? Out of the Kansas City Chiefs, which is Patrick Mahomes, San Diego Chargers, you have Justin Herbert. Broncos just acquired not too long ago Russell Wilson, and then you got Derek Carr in Vegas with the Raiders. It's going to be a good conference battle, I think. There, what are you looking at to get out of that conference this year for the NFL?
It's always Kansas City's to lose, right? So, as much as I want to not say it, it's got to be Patrick Mahomes.
Yep.
I don't want to say it because honestly, I don't like his style of ball, and I don't like the guy in general. And I know everybody loves him. Everybody loves Patrick Mahomes, but
I'm with you on that, but he did lose a weapon in Tyreek Hill. Kelsey can't do it all.
Yeah, but he's got enough. He just doesn't matter. He's going to look left, throw right. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I don't think the wide receiver, as much as everybody thinks, makes the player. You look at Brady, or makes the quarterback. You look at Brady over the years, right? Every year they changed wide receivers on him. It didn't matter. He won games.
Like, you look in Vegas with Devontae Adams going there, realigning with Derek Carr because they played together in college. I can't remember what college they were at. But does that help Derek Carr and make the Raiders better?
Well, yeah, when you've got a chemistry already built. But I just don't know where the Raiders are really going. And I'm not sold on Derek Carr.
They had kind of a hard season last year.
Well, it started off with losing a coach, because he tweeted something. Are we going to lose our show because we tweeted something?
We could.
No. It was an email, not a tweet. It was an email.
Okay. That was all about all them emails. No, I think the AFC West is going to be the conference to watch this year. Brady's coming. Brady retired, comes back. What's the NFC South going to look like? The Saints lost Sean Payton now.
When it's all said and done, is Brady going to still be in Tampa?
Well, I think he will be this year, and then he'll be done. But I
mean,
think
the
in
whole point was
the end,
there
I think
was
he
a
wants to
scheme.
retire as a Niner.
There was a scheme with Brady to him to retire and come back and go to Miami.
Go to Miami. There was a trade offer involved in that too that never went through.
Like in that Will Smith song.
Going to Miami.
Going to Miami. Yeah, here we go. We got Will
this?
Smith back in this show.
Right.
Will Smith
He's always
back in here.
We ain't to Forrest Gump yet.
Whoa. Pump the fucking brakes, man. Just a mere mention. All right.
So before we go to the next topic, pre-draft Super Bowl picks for this year.
We'll let Justin
Pre-draft.
pick first.
Yeah.
All right. I got to definitely say Bobby Boucher. He's a front runner, okay? He's the hot item right now. And then I would
He's
have
gonna
to
win.
say,
He's gonna win the Super Bowl all by himself.
He's going to win the Super Bowl by himself.
Probably.
Well,
Well, no, he's gonna have Rudy help him.
Rudy.
Yeah, Rudy's gonna help. Yep. And then Shane Falco. That's my three. That's my three.
Falco.
Bobby Boucher versus Shane Falco in the Super Bowl. That could be interesting. Stop making fun of me. How about you, Tony? Who are your picks for the Super Bowl this year pre-draft? This coming season.
Let's say I'm gonna go with Cincinnati, and oh man, the other one's gonna be a tough one. I don't know. I think the Chargers might do it again. Might come back to it. So, oh no, not the Chargers. I'm sorry, the Rams.
The Rams.
Rams.
I was gonna say
Sorry.
2 AFC teams in the Super Bowl. That could be interesting.
Yeah, just real quick. You know, it'd be funny where do the Chargers play?
LA.
Okay, wouldn't it be funny if like you went there and you couldn't plug your phone in anywhere?
Where is the Super Bowl this year?
Mm.
Well, honestly, that was going to be a part of my pick. The Super Bowl, I'm pretty sure, is in Arizona this year. The last couple of years have been the home teams winning it, going to their stadiums and winning it.
Yeah.
Pretty sure that Super Bowl's in Arizona this year.
I thought it was in Dallas, so there was no fucking way that was happening.
I'm pretty sure it was Arizona.
That's why Dallas never had.
Well, you look at Dallas; they're moving everybody but the person they probably should move, and Elliott.
Oh, he's garbage.
They got rid of Amari Cooper. He's in Cleveland now.
Ever since he jumped in the Salvation Army bucket, he's not done anything.
Yep.
That is the
I mean-
truth.
I mean,
Andy, you want to explain that story?
Yeah, you gotta explain that. I'm stupid.
so there was a Thanksgiving Day game. I don't know who they were playing. I don't remember. But Dallas was playing somebody. Doesn't matter. Ezekiel Elliott scores a touchdown. Well, every Thanksgiving Day game, especially I think it's the Fox game, has a giant Salvation Army like red kettle, like at the back of the end zone, as a, hey, it's Salvation Army time of year. Everybody fucking ring the bell, right? So this guy scores a touchdown, and jumps in the kettle.
Hasn't done crap since.
Yeah.
What's the kettle again? What's this thing look like?
It's
You see
like
the-
when you're sitting there watching the people ringing the bell to put the
Salvation
money in
Army.
during Christmas. Salvation
ding a
Army.
ding a ding a ding a ding a ding.
It was just a bigger version of that.
Oh, so he was big enough to jump in. He didn't fall into it like by accident. He like literally jumped into it like.
Yeah,
it was
he
the whole
literally
thing.
jumped into it
Yeah.
and was gone.
And then like played
And then,
peekaboo.
so going back to your story, you said that was the telltale something for whatever you said.
That was
right?
the last
So,
time he
go back
did
to that.
anything important.
Hell,
Ah, okay, gotcha.
yeah. And just to clarify,
All
the
right.
Super Bowl is in Glendale, Arizona, where the Cardinals play. Next year is actually the Super Bowl in Las Vegas, where the draft is being held this weekend.
Wow, interesting. So
Okay.
2022, it's where?
2023 for the Super Bowl, because the Super Bowl is held next year, but it's this season.
Okay.
It's in Arizona, which is the home of the Arizona Cardinals.
Gotcha.
But
Now,
okay,
as far as you guys know, barring the draft, like, does it seem like Arizona has a chance? Like, is it a team that could possibly be in the Super Bowl in its own fucking stadium?
very well.
guys know
I mean, they got Kyler Murray. I mean, DeAndre Hopkins. I mean, they got a pretty good team. I mean, I thought they had a good enough team to do it last year. They just fizzled out. I mean, with the Rams being with the way they were, they brought in Von Miller. The Cardinals are a good team, but you never know what's going to happen after the draft and all that. But the last 2 years, Tampa Bay won it in their stadium 2 years ago. Last year, the Rams won it in their own stadium.
Yeah, I was just going to ask about the stats on that. Like, obviously, I'm learning that they pick these places by random, and then
It's
the
by
team might end up
bid, or
actually playing
hey, you
there.
built a new stadium.
Yeah,
It's by bid, or
But
you built a new stadium. You can have You can have the Super Bowl.
It's also mostly, except for the one New York one, it's indoor stadiums or warm weather.
Yep.
okay, so the fans can deal with it better, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they had it in Minnesota a few years ago, just because it's indoor. If it would have been outdoor, they built an outdoor. In my opinion, I live in Minnesota. The stadium should have been outdoor. We live up here. We
So
play.
Philly will never be in contention for that then, because it's
Well,
outdoor.
New York was.
Oh, well,
If-
all right.
So if Philly built a
February,
new
right?
stadium, they would they would have a chance at it.
But it had to be indoor.
Not
Since it's
really.
February, right? No.
They held it in New York. in
Yeah, New
February.
New York's outside. But I think they did that
Technically,
because
that's
it was
in New Jersey, ain't it?
Meadowlands, you're saying, right?
Yeah, metal.
Yeah.
Where the Giants and
But it's cold as fuck here in February. I mean, how's that fly if it's outdoor? Are you saying Meadowlands is indoor now?
No, Meadowlands
is
is
it not?
outdoor. They held a couple Super Bowls there now, or just one?
How? That's,
Or have they held a
imagine
Super Bowl
that.
there? I'm thinking WrestleManias.
Yeah, WrestleMania's been, and that's April, but that's still iffy.
Very iffy. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, February was cold as fuck
I'm thinking
this time
WrestleMania.
around. So,
So yeah, like Andy said, it's basically south or indoor stadiums.
gotcha. See, that's something I didn't know. You guys are educating me.
Like honestly,
We're
in my
gonna make you
my
a football
eyes,
fan.
I've been to Lambeau Field in Green Bay. I live in Minnesota. I'm a Viking fan, but watching a game at Lambeau Field, that would be awesome to see a Super Bowl played in Lambeau in February. It
Let
would
me
be
just
awesome.
tell you what a shit experience it is to go to a football game in the snow.
It is fun.
But you don't last the whole fucking game.
Yeah, you do. You put on some coveralls and you go to town. I've been to the two of the coldest recent games at not US Bank, at TCF Bank. I don't know what it's called now, where the Gophers play. We watched the Gophers play Wisconsin in minus 20-degree wind chill.
Then we are.
Loved every minute of it.
Then me and my wife are some cold weather pussies because we went just this past year up to Michigan State and watched the Michigan State Penn State game in basically a blizzard, and it was
The best football to watch.
horrible, freezing our asses off.
Well, okay, so you watch it in a blizzard. It was snowing. This was just cold.
Oh no, this
Not-
was snowing.
No, I'm talking just cold weather. No snow, just cold weather. I
To the
watched the
point where-
Vikings play. I can't remember who it was the New York Giants in Week 15. The last game, or one of the last games they played at TCF Bank when the Vikings were playing there while US Bank was getting built. It was cold as crap. It was in the 30 below wind chill. It was cold. It was a night game. A blast to watch. Because people are handing out Fireball, Hot 100, people sneaking out of the stadium. We're having fun. Me and a friend, my wife was supposed to go with me, but she got a cold and didn't want to go, so I took a friend with me. And we're just sitting there just drinking. This, pre-COVID, obviously. But,
Right.
no, good times. I mean, cold weather, awesome. Blizzard, snow. I got to play literally high school football in a snowstorm. We were the only game going on in our section. We were actually halfway to Russell Tyler Ruthven is a school just right up the road from us, about a half an hour. Todd Bowman, I don't know if any of you guys know him. He was a backup quarterback for the Vikings and the Saints, I believe it was. They were retiring his jersey that night. We are actually like 10 minutes away. They wanted to cancel the game. It's like, no, we're playing. Let's retire that jersey because we all knew who Todd Bowman was. We wanted to be involved in that in a way. And we literally got there. They're plowing the field of snow. And we're all sitting there like, we're really going to do this. You got tackled. You went another 20 yards because it was slick. You know, high school fields are not warmth. Like, they're not warmed up like what Lambeau is and all that. It was the best experience I had ever playing football. That game I'll never forget. I scored 2 touchdowns. I slipped and slide a lot. It was a blast. But cold weather is different between snow.
Welcome back, Justin. Did you just take care of your hemorrhoid there? Or?
Half and half. Yeah, I took care of the hemorrhoid and I got another beer.
Oh.
So, let's move on to another topic here. We talked a lot about football, basketball, talked a little bit about baseball. How about some wrestling? Andy, I know you're big in wrestling. The other guys are too, kind of. How about
Jim Cornette's a pussy.
Jim Cornette's a pussy. How about wrestling factions? I've always been a big fan of the factions in wrestling. The best wrestling factions in wrestling, period. 3 or more people, not really tag teams. It's just the factions. Does anybody have anything you want to talk to about that? In my eyes, NWO always comes to mind with WCW, Hulk Hogan turning heel. And then you look at WWE, WWF, it was DX.
Yeah, but you gotta, like, you can't. The whole fucking world was in NWO. If you look at the actual list of members in NWO, something like 50 fucking 8 people. There's like 50, maybe 50 people on the goddamn roster. Like,
yeah, they had a couple affiliates and all that. Wasn't there a race car driver on that?
There was a Mike. Was it Waltrip? I don't remember.
I don't remember.
But yeah, there's like 50. Like the whole fucking world was like. I was in the NWO. Justin's in the NWO. Tony's in the NWO. Like, woo woo, too sweet. Fuck you. Like, you can't have the whole goddamn world in your faction.
Andy, I'm surprised you remember that. Do you remember what my my wrestling name was?
Fuck.
In NWO?
Justin.
No. You want me to just tell you?
Yeah.
The Iron Deficient Sheik.
Do you know what mine was? Do you remember mine?
Yeah, Slim Shaner.
No. No. It was Vanilla Twice.
That was your rap name. I'm sorry. What?
I was Vanilla Twice.
Vanilla Twice, right.
Vanilla Twice.
Yeah. What was the twice again?
Because I had to do it 2 times.
I thought because they changed it to a 2 count for you, I think.
Yeah, because I would kick out too early. Like when Jim Cornette drops a leg on me and thinks I'm going to stay down for 3 fucking seconds.
Yeah, they give you a 2 count, so you're yeah.
Looking at Tony below me, he's kind of like the Big Woo. You know, not the Big Show, not Ric Flair, the Big Woo.
Big Woo. It's really close to Big Swole too.
I'm guessing you got a good Ric Flair for us, huh? Tony?
I mean, yeah, I guess, yeah, you know, you kind of have that.
Woo!
Sorry, he just busted out his microphone, so we didn't catch it.
No, but it was a big woo.
Yeah, what happened to that? He blew it out.
Yeah.
I even muted mine so we'd only hear him.
The Flair dance too, but I don't have enough.
Can you say the whole thing? 2 Ric Flairs and a what is it? What the fuck is it?
2 big Flairs and a big clap.
Yeah. Can you give us a clap? Woo!
Woo!
So speaking of Flair, then you got the 4 Horsemen, which is like the ultimate faction ever, right?
Right, but you also look at Flair and you got Evolution.
No.
But
Evolution,
they were the
Evolution. Okay, so Evolution was not built because of Ric Flair. It was built to save Ric Flair.
It was. But it also built Randy Orton.
It built Randy Orton. It built Batista, but it did not. It was there to rebuild Ric Flair as well. I don't see them, but you have to, if you're going to talk about the best faction of all time, it's got to stand the test of time. It's got to have an impact on the future of the business. Which, sure, NWO did, but it had the whole fucking company in it. You know, like, but
NWO did make a comeback at WrestleMania with Sting and Triple H.
And that was so garbage. Why didn't they just have a fucking straight match?
I agree, because they ended up bringing DX involved in that as well.
It was
I understood where they were going with it.
That ruined the Triple H and Sting match when you're going to have the top guy in what is WWE at the time, or, you know,
WCW,
current era, right? Yep. And the top guy from WCW finally coming over to WWE to wrestle, and you're going to throw all these other fuckers in there. Why?
That comes down to writing.
Sounds like a Marvel movie.
I like what they did there, but I liked it, but did I hate it? Yes. I mean, I understood what they were trying to go for, but I wanted it. I'm with you. I wanted to see that one-on-one battle, icon versus icon.
You already knew they were going to beat Sting in the ring, right? You already knew that. They weren't going to let Sting go over on the top guy in WWE.
Sting went over when those crows hit at Survivor Series to get the Triple H and Stephanie out of it.
Sting was already over before that, but he wasn't going to go over in the match.
But in WWE, when those crows went off, there were people that were like, "Who's this?" And there were people that knew what the crow meant.
Yeah.
I don't know if you watched that live or not, Andy. I know I did. I freaked out and ran out of my house because I knew who it was, and I knew it'd take them about a minute to get going in because they were going to stell it up. But
yeah,
Sting was always my wrestler in that aspect. I mean, I always wanted him to come to WWE/WWF.
What would you have done in your mind, in your heart, like when Hogan turned and he became NWO and turned heel? It broke kids' hearts. There were kids crying, right?
Yeah.
And it was
because he became a bad guy, right?
Yeah,
right.
He became the bad guy. He became the heel. Yep.
Okay.
The original plan, because Hogan originally didn't want to do it. So the plan was actually to use Sting in that situation.
I don't think NWO is as big if Sting does it, and not a knock on Sting, but NWO got bigger, I think, because of it was Hogan. Kind of goes back to where everybody wanted John Cena to turn heel. You know,
so
you look at Raw.
At what point did the believability? So you. Point of pro wrestling is if you could suspend reality, right? Like you look at it and you go, "Was that real? Did I just see something that I shouldn't have? Is this real?" So when NWO came over, when Hall and Nash came over, it was an invasion, right? They didn't tell you anything. They made it pretend like they came to WCW from the WWE.
Right.
So at what point did those two... So they get Hogan, and they still go on this kind of invasion thing. But at what point did did the suspension of reality end?
It had to be when... Was it at Hogan and Macho Man in a match? And
no, Hogan came down. Macho was in the match against, I think, Nash.
Yeah, and dropped the leg on him.
Yeah.
They didn't know what he was going to do. They played it off.
So there you have the heel turn of Hogan. Was that also the moment that everybody goes, this is no longer even like, okay, so this is just a WCW work?
I think in my eyes with Hogan, with WWF, WWE, Hogan's always a good guy.
Yeah.
WCW, Hogan's always the bad guy. In my eyes.
Right.
That's how I look at it.
But
Go ahead.
When did the invasion kind of in the fans' eyes kind of go, all right, this is not, there's not some intertwining workings with the WWE and WCW?
Was there always? It's kind of like what we talk about, what me and you have talked about, is there intertwinings between AEW and WWE?
I don't think there is. Some people think there is. But Tony Khan's
I'm part of that.
got enough
I'm
money.
part of that person. I'm part of that people. Are they trying to start Monday Night Wars all over again?
No, because they moved NXT because they couldn't beat them. They stopped rivaling. They stopped riding on the same night because they couldn't beat them.
Right. Yep. I'll be honest. I haven't watched a lot of AEW. I haven't. It's not because I hate the show. Have I watched
What's
a lot of
AEW
WWE?
stand for?
All
Elite.
all elite wrestling. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like,
you can tell I'm the one that's wet behind the ears with this stuff. So.
Well, I have not watched a lot of All Elite. We've dabbled in on it, me and my wife, but we also haven't watched a lot of WWE recently.
Justin, you would like it. I mean, you're into soap operas like Days of Our Lives and Young and the Restless.
Well, that's what wrestling is.
No.
It's a soap opera is all it is. But, no, I mean, like...
Fuck out of here with that. No.
When you go into factions, though, I mean, everybody brings up DX, NWO, and I like where we're going with this. But you look at, like, nowadays, you got the New Day. Are they actually a faction?
They keep splitting them up.
Right. But the one faction that a lot of people forget that was a faction was Nexus. They changed a lot in WWE, WWF. They changed a lot. They did a lot. They brought a lot to the table. The other one was the Shield.
So the Nexus was also kind of, in my mind, the birth of NXT.
It was. It definitely was.
Right? So it was almost that invasion. But you go back to that invasion plot, right? Where the Nexus invades WWE. And yeah, a lot of great names in there. Barrett and Daniel Bryan and Ryback.
David Otunga.
A lot of great names in that, but did they actually change or impact the business other than basically saying, hey, WWE now has a big roster, big, developmental, I guess you would call it, right?
Well, you look at it that way, too. You look at a lot of these factions. This just came to my mind. But a lot of names come out of factions that no one ever knew about.
Because, okay, give me an example.
Well, you look at Spirit Squad. What did we get out of that? Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah.
The Shield. That was a proper way to introduce Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins.
Yep. The Brood.
The Brood. It to me, the Brood excelled Edge.
Mm-hmm.
To what he is now.
Yeah.
Love Edge. Grew up watching him. So I like, speaking of that, that's a new faction brewing. I don't think that we know what the name is yet, but that's a faction that's brewing right now.
Yeah, it's like a new Brood with him and Damian Priest.
But is it a Brood, or is it a Brood, or is it a Ministry of Destruction or Ministry of Darkness?
It's Brood 2.0.
They got the purple. Yeah, it is Brood 2.0, but it could be they're doing different colors. But I mean,
is the purple a thing? You talk about Ministry of Darkness. Is this an Undertaker plot?
Right. Could they bring the Undertaker back? He left with the Hall of Fame induction ceremony with I can't remember the exact words, but never say never. I'm pretty sure that's what he said.
Right. Puts his hat on, says never say never. And so
does he come back being like a manager? Does he come back for a match?
does he become the Gangrel of this new brood?
Right. You just never know. I mean, like, honestly, I saw Justin raise his eyebrow like The Rock there. But go check out the Brood. I mean, watching them come in, their entrance is amazing. But if you dabble in a little bit on this, they're almost bringing stories back, just retabling them and redoing them.
But isn't that what the wrestling business has been doing?
That's what it has been.
I mean, one of the best matches recently was MJF versus CM Punk in a dog collar match. And that's because it's one of the best matches ever between Greg Valentine and Piper, right?
Right.
And they paid homage to that match.
Right.
So it's
so when you're getting into that, so are the writers of wrestling, are they becoming? They don't know what else to do. Kind of like
fuck.
But it's kind of like movies in the same aspect. Justin would probably think about this with me as well. You look at movies. Is this wrestling and movies? Are they tied in together? That okay, we're redoing the same stories. Like we're rebooting all this old stuff.
Oh my god. Yeah, nothing new. Yeah, it just sounds like you're just talking about anything else. Yeah, think of like we talked about the Batman before we recorded tonight. Like we're gonna talk about it next week possibly, but like it's just another old idea. Everybody's going to the cinema and they're watching some new version of an old idea. Like It's like, when is it gonna be done? Like Harry Potter's still a thing. They're still releasing Harry Potter story ideas. Like nothing's growing, nothing's changing. So to hear this talk about wrestling just from like a third person, it just sounds like it's just rebooting everywhere.
Reboot. Look at Jurassic World,
reboot.
Same aspect.
Soft reboot, yeah. And motherfucker in one of the Jurassic Worlds was wearing a Jurassic Park T-shirt, like that you would wear back in '95 after the original movie came out. Like they fucked.
Okay,
like,
going with Jurassic World there, they had the old Jurassic Park Jeeps.
Same fucking shirt, like that you could buy at like whatever. Like the internet didn't really exist like for Amazon and shit back then, but like you actually had to go somewhere that actually released a Jurassic Park shirt, and this is what this mofo was wearing in Jurassic World.
You got it at Kmart.
Wearing a Jurassic Park shirt.
Got it at Kmart.
Jurassic World. Yeah, this movie is willing to show you.
Left in this world.
Yeah, This movie is willing to show you that this guy went to Kmart or Kohl's or something and found a 1995 era Jurassic Park design, and it exists in the real world of Jurassic World. Like it's just fucking that's shit.
Tony, what's
and it goes all the way to Star Wars and everything.
With the reboots, like with what me and Andy are talking about wrestling, what Justin just brought into with the movies and what me and Justin did. Everything. There's a lot of reboots going on in this world. What's your thoughts on that? It's an open question.
It's weird, because you do have all these reboots going on. Just like we talked about even Space Jam. Why you gotta remake Space Jam and bring LeBron into it? Like why?
Because LeBron's the new Jordan.
Supposedly, but yeah.
Yeah, but he's not.
I'll never watch the new Space Jam. I'll never watch that movie.
Listen, if you talk about LeBron and how many games a year he's played versus how many games a year Jordan played, it's not even close. Like just that alone. So what are they even talking about? How do you even make a Space Jam movie? There's nobody you could choose that was like Jordan. And nobody fucking knows that unless they care about the fucking stats of NFL. I mean, NFL. The first thing they care about the stats of NFL. They care about the stats of NBA. That's all I'm saying. That's just shit nobody's thinking about.
So, Tony, where were you going with your thought on that with Space Jam? I know you had a lot more to. I felt like you had a lot more to say on it.
I don't know. It's just weird that people are making all these reboots of everything. Just like we've talked about. With the Batman, and it's just the Star Wars. The Batman is just kind of weird. I know we're gonna talk about this more next week, but it's just the story of this one. Is supposed to be right where he was beginning. So that's why it's kind of weird of, what you grew up on, knowing all these Batmans, and now you're talking about this one where it's just, where he's beginning to be Batman and all this stuff. I don't know. It's just, these reboots are just weird. I mean, you have all kinds of, even like Fast and Furious. We got, Fast 10 coming out soon?
Fast X, whatever they're going to call it, yeah.
Where's it ever going to end?
So, Tony, you're a wrestling fan, too. So what is your thought on a, top faction?
What's your favorite faction?
Oh, my favorite? Oh, gosh. Well, I'm an Orton guy, so I'm going to have to probably say Evolution, so...
Okay, so you said that, but why not Legacy?
Oh, that's true. Didn't even think about Legacy.
And I'm going to kill this conversation, though, on factions by stating the number one faction out there. I might get hate for this. You guys can blow me up on Twitter, whatever. But I'm going to tell you the number one faction out there is the Bullet Club.
But were they really a faction? It wasn't really on any show, was it?
They're always on every fucking show.
But it wasn't like in Japan.
The Bullet Club is involved in every major promotion, and they and they have wrestled as the Bullet Club in New Japan. So now they're involved. Look at the names that were involved, right?
Correct me if I'm wrong. Before you go into that, correct me if I'm wrong. When Luke and Gallows and Anderson, when they came in, didn't it say Bullet Club on the Titantron?
Yes.
Keep going with your conversation, though. I know
if you watch the promo, so there's a huge show coming up, and I don't know if anybody saw this from AEW last week. Huge show coming up, the Forbidden Door. It's going to be AEW and New Japan Wrestling. And in the promo, they said this is about the what the fuck is Adam Cole's faction now with Red Dragon? Oh shit! And they were
I can't remember the name.
AEW. I can't remember him either. But they said it's about that and the Bullet Club.
And I agree with the Bullet Club. They're a good faction. It's just it's never
built
actually
more wrestlers.
Show.
It's built more top-notch wrestlers than any other faction out there.
To me, with the Bullet Club, they're not on a show, but they built it around wrestling all around. They grab different people.
If you're in a promotion and you get in with these guys and you become part of the Bullet Club, you are going to rise to stardom in a promotion. Period.
Yeah, that's the truth.
Like, you can talk Four Horsemen all day long, right? But the Andersons, and nobody, I don't know if everybody realizes this, but the reason that Ric Flair was a made man is because of the Andersons.
True.
They brought him into the Four Horsemen, and they pitched it as Ric Flair was a cousin of the Andersons. So now everybody goes, oh, he's a cousin, he's an Anderson. He must be somebody we need to pay attention to. And that's what made Ric Flair. The Andersons made Ric Flair. The Four Horsemen, after that, the Four Horsemen, they dominated pro wrestling in their era. But what faction has dominated pro wrestling throughout the world more than the Bullet Club?
None. In my eyes, none.
So, and if you guys want to tweet at me or whatever and tell me I'm full of shit, that's fine. But,
But a lot of people might not think they were actually a faction because you never really saw them.
Yep.
Saw them.
I'll tweet at you all day, you fucking stud.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. We need all. I don't know if you guys look at some of the people we got following us, but we got some strippers and shit, which is a whole another show in and of itself.
But Justin,
is that another show? How many shows do we have now?
We're
Yeah,
at
go
3.
ahead.
We got
three
too
saved
many. We got too many going forward.
We just gotta watch these. Like, when I watch our own shows and write down everything every time we talk about how another show's coming up, because I already forget. But that's at least 4, I would say. 4
So
shows.
Justin,
But-
you were.
Well, I
you were
keep a
telling
notebook.
us before we started recording that you got a flyer the other day about wrestling and how this is coming full circle for you.
Oh, yeah. So I was at this function on Saturday in a park. I've mentioned, usually in closing, at least one of these videos, that I play live music at a bar 3 nights a week. So I was in that same town of Gloucester City, New Jersey, right across the river from Philadelphia. And I was at this function, and somebody was going around passing out flyers. And I can share my screen if you want to see the flyer. You guys as wrestling fans, what do you think of this flyer? If you want to, but it's just something funny that like my ears pricked up about, because I've done functions in this park in this city for years, different reasons, and never seen anybody come up that's a local wrestler, and they exist in Gloucester City. I'm seeing it now. There's an address on it that happens to be in Gloucester City, which is where I was and where I play a lot. So I was gonna share my screen. Yeah, I'm going to share it with you guys. So
I think Andy's
I'm going
ready
to tell
for
you. Yeah, I'm going to tell you it's Wrestling Against Autism. It happened on Saturday, so it happened 2 days ago. But I'm sure they do other events that I'll look out for as well. So let me share my screen, and there we go. So you can see it, right? You can see it in all its can you see it? It's all in all its glory here. And I'll just kind of close up.
Really,
this
Drago.
didn't look like it didn't look like a good flyer. There's a lot of colors didn't work together, but you really have to kind of look at it to read it, unfortunately. But they got the real Drago. Let me see here.
ECW is Gary Wolf. Andy, do you know anything about Gary Wolf?
Never fucking heard of them.
All right, let's ECW. I didn't know if you followed ECW or not.
Well, you know, we come from the home of ECW, but
Right.
I mean, maybe he performed once. I don't know.
How about America's own Ricci Star? I assume it's Ricci because of Christina Ricci.
Hey, look at that, Tony. You're you're sponsoring it.
Look at these sponsors. There you go. Look, 14 and under, $5. Admission was $15. Donkey's Place is a steak place in Gloucester City.
Fantastic cheesesteaks. Some of the best cheesesteaks.
Okay, yeah, Andy, you know, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's the city I'm playing in a lot, Andy. 3 nights a week, and this was handed to me while I was at a function in that very city in the park.
I thought Donkey's was in Camden.
It is, I think, actually, now that I think about it. But there's a lot of cusp-type places in this area where you're not sure where it's at. Could be Mount Ephraim, it could be Camden, it could be Gloucester, you know? And a lot of people from those areas, too. Yeah. Well, it really depends on where you are in certain situations, but, you know, so, like, you got Spotlight Sports Entertainment Presents. You guys are into wrestling. Is this a lot of the local stuff you see, or what?
Yeah,
So, it's a lot of local ads I see around here. I know hour and a half away from me to the west here, Sioux Falls does one. One of our race car drivers, actually, his brother competes, and he was the champion a couple years ago. I don't know where they're at now, but I know up in Minneapolis they do a lot up there. That's like an underground show. I mean, is what I call them. There's a lot of shows that aren't WWE. That's where these guys get found from, AEW and WWE. Mm-hmm. You know, that's where the talent.
Justin,
I mean, these guys put a lot of work in.
Justin, to be honest, you're in the hotbed of local, homegrown talent pro wrestlers in South Jersey. South Jersey has trained so many of the top names. Bam Bam Bigelow is from New Jersey. Diamond Dallas Page is from New Jersey.
What's his name
honestly,
too?
go check out a show there. If you ever get a chance, you might see somebody you see on TV, and 5-10 years.
The monster.
King Kong Bundy. King Kong Bundy, right?
King Kong Bundy. The Monster Factory is one of the top-notch, or was in its day, top-notch training facilities that train professional wrestlers. Is right there by you, I believe, in like Belmar.
Now, what's EWA, you think? Oh, Epic Wrestling Association. See, there you go.
Well, they all have their wrestling names and all that, but...
And look at this, Sunday at 2 p.m. You can bring your grandma. How fucking lovely. You know? Right after church. Like the Sunday, we got Sunday... Guys, we got Sunday at 2 p.m. You cool with that? Yeah!
So that's now your...
I would love to go watch that show.
That's your mission now,
That's why I
Justin.
said it.
Go to one of these local events, talk to some of these guys who do it, get a feel of what it is for them, because these guys do it on weekends for little to no money, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure a guy involved in this faction, as you say, I don't even know, was at my karaoke on Saturday, and he was using the microphone after he was done singing to talk about his wrestling that was happening. And I guess it was this show. Nice. You know? So I definitely will remember that guy, and I'll talk to him next time. So, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, we were talking about factions there, too. I mean, how about the Hart Foundation? Canada, I know, but...
But the Hart Foundation, was there anybody in the Hart Foundation that wasn't
Bret Hart
trained by Stu?
No. Not that I know of.
Was the Hart Foundation just people that Stu Hart trained, and that's like where you went to help you get over as a character?
I don't know. Still a good faction in the back in the day, though.
Oh, sure. I mean, British.
I don't know that answer. I mean,
the Anvil, obviously Bret Hart. The youngest of Owen. What Owen could have been if.
What would have Owen been? I mean, he'd have been older now, but.
Who knows?
Oh yeah, he's the one that fell into the ring, right? And he broke his neck or something.
He was coming down as what was his name, Andy?
Was it the Patriot?
He was masked. When he was masked.
Was it the Patriot? Was that what he was? No, the
Something
Patriot
like
was. Patriot was Hogan. But it was something like that.
Yeah, I'll remember after the show. I mean, I feel bad forgetting now.
I remember it on the way home. You're like, fuck!
Damn it! But no, I mean, yeah.
I should have said jerk store.
When that happened to Owen, I mean, everybody was like, when WWE Network came out, they're like, oh, let's see that, and it was not on anymore. But God rest Owen's soul. But what would he have brought to the WWF?
They cut part of that on WWE Network. Yeah. If you go and watch that pay-per-view, they cut out time of that.
Wasn't that Over the Edge?
Wouldn't that be ironic?
I can't remember that pay-per-view. But
there's also a conspiracy behind that, whether WWE killed him.
Okay, I haven't heard that one.
It's out there. Look it up. We'll have that. It's another show.
But when you go into like factions, Justin or Andy or Justin brought up CM Punk. You had your Straight Edge Society years ago. It was terrible. But they were a good faction.
Not all factions.
Actually, one of the.
And factions. If you think about factions now, that's all AEW is running on is factions. Basically, every damn wrestler on their roster is in a faction.
How about the corporation? You had Vince McMahon with The Rock. I mean, it was a faction.
Yeah. But I think what was the Authority? I think was better.
The Authority at the time, yeah. Mm-hmm. The other one that I always never forget is Nation of Domination. Did that make The Rock?
All right, here's a big question. I'm going to ask this one out to Tony and Justin and get their thoughts, because personally hated the Nation of Domination. And here's why. And you think about today's world, the Nation of Domination would have got you canceled in a heartbeat. And I'll explain it to you, Justin, so you understand it. Nation of Domination was all black men.
Yep.
Okay. And they wore the African flag colors.
African, like,
yeah.
is there like what specific country, or is there an African continent flag?
There you can see it.
Oh, watch streams. Oh, okay. Nation of Domination. Okay, so that's like an African. I see the rocks in there. That's the only one I recognize.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they got all the African
So, like,
stuff. And they even talked about being, correct me if I'm wrong, Dustin, but did they not talk about being black and being held back, and wasn't that kind of their shtick?
It was.
And so I hated it because I thought, even then, like, I wasn't, I was much younger, obviously, probably in my, teen years to my early 20 years, but I didn't see color then. Now, why were they forcing color down my throat now?
So suddenly now they're saying the man.
I'm looking at the picture and I see Farouk, Debo Brown, and The Rock. I don't remember who the other guy was. I'm being
Godfather.
honest.
That's the Godfather, right?
Oh, that's the Godfather. Yeah.
Well,
there you go.
Yeah. No, The Rock's certainly signing his fucking name,
To
in
movie
Hollywood.
contracts.
Mm-hmm.
And Hollywood is the biggest fucking cesspool there is. So for color, race, sex, anything. So
hearing that,
whatever
Justin,
this movement was,
as not a wrestling fan, what is kind of your thought of that kind of product being put in front of you? And mind you, this was back in the 90s.
When I was a kid, not really thought about it. I'm being honest.
it's the same. Yeah. I mean, it could be one of those things where it flies in the face of how you want to break it to your kids in terms of like,
But
you want to have those types of social injustices that other people have a feeling about. Like, is it really important to every single person, especially children? So knowing that pro wrestling goes out to children.
When I was a kid in the 90s, though, I mean, the Nation of Domination, they were dominating. I mean, they were.
Yeah, were they a bunch of black guys with fucking political?
I don't look at color.
things?
I've never looked at a color. I've never looked at color.
Right.
Period. I honestly
and I can see that too
in my life.
Right, and you're kind of.
But they were shoving that down.
When
They were shoving that.
Was there color in wrestling? No.
No,
They were shoving that down your throat. They were shoving that down your throat.
They were. But when I was a kid, I didn't know that.
Were you? And they played heels. Were you supposed to dislike them because of their color? I wasn't quite sure where. I wasn't quite sure where WWE was trying to go with this, as them being heels.
Well, that's maybe that's woke before woke was woke.
Woke before
you're saying
woke. Yeah,
I always have an issue with that, of trying to get me morally in terms of like how I feel as a person of non-color, that like I'm supposed to feel like shame or something because of how everything's gone for everybody. Yeah. In terms of like wrestling and how it fits into entertainment, I don't feel like there should be an ongoing like social commentary about it. I think it should just be entertainment for entertainment's sake.
And this is in the 90s, so we got to remember that.
Right.
Yeah, and there's always different like things going on with decades and stuff, and different sensibilities and powder kegs and whatnot. You're never without one, that's for sure. Depending on whatever's going on, it's not going to go away anytime soon. But
Tony,
if you're raising a child, I could definitely understand.
Tony, I know you were watching wrestling then. So, what did you think of the Nation?
I mean, I really didn't dislike that. I don't know. I didn't like him at all. It's just the way they, I guess they tried to just push everything on you, shove it down your throat, just like you said. It just wasn't really entertaining, I guess. but I don't know.
Yeah, I was never entertained by them. It wasn't. And when you talk about a heel and a face and how you build a story around that, you basically want to see the heel get their asses kicked by the face. That's the kind of the purpose. But like I didn't even really want. I didn't even want to just see. I didn't even want to see him on TV.
No, because they just walked around acting like a bunch of thugs, and that's all it was. It wasn't really too much after that either.
And you look at the people that were in that picture, they're all superstars in their own right.
They were. Very
now
cool.
it made The Rock, it brought The Rock along from Rocky Maivia to
The Rock.
Yep.
To The Rock. So if anything good came out of it, it was that. You had Charles Wright, who was pictured, I don't remember what his name was in the Nation Domination, but he became the Godfather.
Yep.
Obviously, Ron Simmons, a.k.a. Farouk, went on to be, APA and all that, and The Rock became The Rock. So
what was his punchline?
Damn!
Anytime that. Damn!
Wait, we need another one of that, Andy, because you were like, do it again.
Damn!
Damn!
We need an unadulterated version of that. Yeah,
honestly, no. Go back and watch some of his just weird clips going on with WWE, WWF, and he comes in and just looks at you and goes, "Damn!"
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah, you might. And it could be anything, right? It could be somebody doing something pretty stupid, like.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't think of anything, so I'm going to make up examples.
Yeah, I can't remember anything back.
But somebody be doing something really, really stupid, and you just look at them and go, "Damn!" Or like one of the divas,
the Hurricane back.
Right.
Yeah.
One of the divas would walk by him or something with her tits hanging out, and he'd be, "Damn!"
Back on it. It was awesome back then. I mean, it's kind of like with the Stone Cold Steve Austin, the what?
Yes.
What?
That's getting old. I'm getting over the what.
It's getting old, but it was awesome when it happened back then.
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
So
I think what you're thinking. I think because it just transcends everything in terms of entertainment now. Like it's just about the person's persona and how everybody wants to be cool. Is that I'm noticing. Yeah. Like somebody a lot smarter than me used to say, "I'll never be cool because I can't break dance." And that's just like the current movement now with like everything's like, you look at a fucking Target commercial or you look at something on YouTube, it's like you have to be doing something that's cool. And like without that, nobody cares about you.
You look at
you mean like me with my fucking shades on all the time, right?
Yeah, you gotta have shades on your fucking iPod, on your fucking podcast. Or whatever. I just said iPod. I just charged my iPod. It must be my brain.
I just gotta ask: are those gas station bought sunglasses, or are they actually?
Oh hell no! For everybody watching on YouTube, these are Oakleys, baby.
Fucking Oakleys. No, they're fucking Oakleys.
They're gotta be Oakleys. Okay, so are they Oakleys or are they Folkleys? Did you get them in Mexico?
Oh no, these came from Bass Pro Shop.
My fucking shades are from Five Below.
$200 shades on my eyes right now, baby.
Mine are in my car, but yeah, no.
You guys got to be watching on YouTube right now, so you can see fucking Andy's $200 shades.
Fucking right. Who doesn't want to see them?
A 2-year warranty on them, though. They're already broke.
Fucking
just listening to this. Make sure you watch us on YouTube.
I mean, who doesn't want fucking?
Oh shit! You got Warby Parkers over there, Tony.
I got Nike glasses. But I got new Oakley glasses coming soon.
Fuck yeah! You got to wear them on the next one then.
Yeah, they just came in today. We got to go get them.
I got this. This is called a kielbasa. In case you guys ever see one of these.
A kielbasa?
It's a kielbasa.
Not kielbasa, but you're gonna remember kielbasa and how good it tastes, and think kielbasa. That's a kielbasa. The Mexican.
Oh, everybody got this out!
Actually made by Latin Percussion. So there's the LP right there.
So one last thing before we get done. here. Andy, you were actually talking to me about Rage Against the Machine Spaces. Climbing the
Oh,
scaffolding.
fuck yeah.
Oh, we're gonna get back into the fucking Chris Rock, Will Smith shit. So here, yeah, I was doing a little bit of thinking, a little bit of digging, and this actually happened on the same car ride with my wife that we listened to Beastie Boys rapping about macaroni. But I got to thinking, I'm like, well, we were listening to Tom Morello on Sirius, that's what it was, and I'm like, hey, what are them motherfuckers like climb the scaffolding at a music show or some shit like that? And she's like, yeah. And we looked it up, and I forget who the fuck it was, drummer or bassist, I don't know. Justin probably knows the answer to this, but
I do, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, I'll fill in everything.
Fucker, so he gets fucking arrested for like disturbing the fucking peace for climbing a scaffolding to protest an award going to somewhere else, whereas fucking Will Smith can go slap the shit out of somebody on an award show and nothing happens.
Yeah.
So
it was
explain
Tim
this
Comerford.
shit to me.
Tim Comerford, explain the shit. Okay, basically the long and short of it is that MTV has better security than ABC or whoever runs the Oscars or whatever, NBC. Because Tim Comerford is a bass player of Rage Against the Machine / Audio Slave. I'm pretty sure he was one of the 3 from Rage Against the Machine that played for Audio Slave when they took Chris Cornell from Soundgarden. Same guy, bass player, great bass player, understated, all that stuff. So he got up on the rafters because Limp Bizkit was winning an award. And if you're in Rage Against the Machine, or if you even like Rage Against the Machine a lot, you'll understand that you also don't like Limp Bizkit because you think they fucking suck. So people in Rage Against the Machine that don't like popular music don't like Limp Bizkit. So in turn, if you care about award ceremonies, you don't think Limp Bizkit should win an award. So in protest, Tim Comerford decided to climb the monstrosity that was behind the camera and protest of Limp Bizkit winning an award for a music video. That's about it. That's the long and short of it.
And that's what that
And he got
was.
arrested for it. Yeah, that's what that was. That's what we know about that.
So me as a Limp Bizkit fan, that makes sense why I'm not a Rage fan.
I guess so, yeah. And I'm both.
To be honest, I mean,
I think Limp Bizkit had 2 really good albums. One of which was being awarded in that particular story.
which one was
I like
being
both,
awarded in that?
you know?
Was that Chocolate Starfish?
No.
Or was that their first album?
It was
One with
something
Nookie.
that, and I'll admit, what's his name? Fred Durst has gone on to become a director. He most recently did that Fan movie with John Travolta.
Yep.
But before that, he did something called the something of Charlie something, which I thought was pretty good. And I thought all this shit was good about the movie before I saw at the end that it said directed by Fred Durst. So Fred Durst directed his own music video, and that's the one that won. And apparently there was a Rage Against the Machine video that didn't win. Or, I don't even know. Yeah. I think Michael Moore directed, that liberal documentarian. He directed Rage Against the Machine video.
When it comes back to Limp Bizkit, you always think about Nookie. That was the big song. But then they came out with the album, I think it was Chocolate Starfish, and
Yeah, I remember that.
the second album, I think it was. I don't know if that was the second one, but that's the one I remember for the second one. But they came out with Rollin', and which was didn't The Undertaker come out to that, or was that American Badass? That was American Badass by Kid
American
Rock.
Badass. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, I'm just looking at the internet loosely here, Break Your Fucking Face Tonight was the song that won. And then Sleep Now in the Fire was the Rage song.
Break Stuff was on the album with Nookie, but pretty sure.
Yeah, and so was this song, Break Stuff. Yeah. So that was Nookie, Break Stuff, and something else. I can't remember what else was the one. But it was $2 Bill, and then Significant Other. Significant Other was the second album that Break Stuff was on. I think Break Stuff beat Sleep Now in the Fire, which was directed by Michael Moore, the documentarian. And Tim Comerford, the bass player from Rage Against the Machine, was protesting that by climbing the thing as they were giving the award out, as they were accepting it. So,
and that was at what award show you were talking about?
It was at the VMAs.
The VMAs.
And
MTV
MTV shows.
Video Music Awards. Yeah.
Yeah, in 2000.
That was in 2000. Okay.
Yeah, he climbed the set. It says it represented a kind of turning point in popular rock music, fully representative of the shift in trends and ideals for the genre. Politics and sincerity were at the forefront of the genre. Hip-hop would mesh with rock music to become a form of protest, allowing for acts like Red Hot Chili Peppers, Faith No More, Living Colour, to set the stage for Rage Against the Machine to conquer.
Oh.
So basically, that was like the whole thing.
Yeah, I heard Living
But Rage
Colour,
Against the Machine.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, Rage Against the Machine was kind of like, you know, if you're in Rage Against the Machine like Tim Comerford was, you're kind of like a purist. You're like, I think what I'm fucking doing is music, and I think what Limp Bizkit is doing is just to make fucking stupid videos on MTV. And then MTV ends up giving them the award.
Here's a question about that came up that my wife and I were talking about because Tom Morello said something. He did a 420 show on Sirius, and he said he only smoked pot once, and he doesn't do drugs. Are you telling me the Rage guys were not drug people?
I don't know why he would lie. I think there's a lot of people that you would, think were potheads that just did it once. I've been doing a lot more now that since 421 it's become recreationally legal in New Jersey. So I feel less like apprehensive to point out that like I do it to enjoy it, but I just don't know why you would do it once. Yeah, exactly. I just don't know why you would do it once. It's not like it's meth. It's not like it's anything that's going to ruin your life. You can go get high and have a good time. I would recommend it.
That's why you got fucking droopy eyes. Everybody tuned it. Make sure
I would recommend it for anybody over 21.
It's no different than this.
No. And now it's if you're in New Jersey like me, it's like you can go to all the recreation. You could go to all the medical places that offer it and buy recreationally. It just happened on 421, so you know.
Well, you brought up Living Colour a little bit ago, and that is CM Punk's music.
So wait a minute. I got to change the subject. You said it just became recreationally available. My daughter, when I was in Jersey, sent me to the fucking gas station in Jersey when I was out there last. And she said, you can go buy fucking joints and shit there. What the fuck did I buy?
You could, yeah, up until recently. Now it's kind of more like one of those things where it's like open. Since 421, it's like open. Like, yeah, we're all smoking pot. We're all doing it legally. But prior to that, you could have gone to like a farmer's market or something where you're buying like a sticker, you know, a band sticker, like a Sublime sticker. You pay $20 for the sticker, and then you say, "Here, I bought the Sublime sticker." And then it's like, "Here you go. Here's some gummies or whatever." Or here's
they just straight up sold me fucking what looked like joints to me.
Well, that's mostly because it has been medicinal for a while, and they also kind of like lessen shit based on that. So I think overall it's been happening over like the past year in Jersey here, which I think fucking Jersey needs.
I'm afraid to know what the fuck I bought.
Well, you might have bought illegal.
Which is still cheaper.
It's still cheaper. But
I will say that because of the embargo they're putting on it, yeah.
You look at that though. I mean, these states that are doing it, they're making the state tax before a national does it.
Yep. Because depending on the next person that wants to actually sign that fucking bill, it's, you know, they're going to want to make that money first, you know, before it comes out of their back pocket. So, you know, everybody's doing it anyway, and it's, you know,
but
might as well make some money off it.
I do go live here in about 15-20 minutes. Start wrapping this up. Well, you guys keep going.
Well, one of my favorite movies, I don't know if you guys know this, but one of my favorite movies is Forrest Gump. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about that.
Because Tommy's not here?
He loved that movie. Holy fucking shit. I brought that movie up just to end the last episode, and all of a sudden Tommy's like, "That is my favorite movie of all time. Let's start talking about it."
I wasn't a part of the first episode, but that's how you guys ended the first episode. You guys started talking about
Right.
So maybe we should talk a little bit about Forrest Gump, just so I can get Tommy a little.
In another episode, we can talk about Forrest Gump.
I will say that Benjamin Button, if you watch that movie, how he kind of goes along in his lifestyle with like what happens in real life, just like Forrest Gump did. There's a reason why. It's because it's the same fucking author. Isn't that interesting? So that guy, whoever wrote Forrest Gump, wrote Benjamin Button. So if there's similarities between Benjamin Button and Forrest Gump, it's the same guy.
Now we're talking about Benjamin Button and Forrest Gump. So now we've officially reached our limits today's show.
Take it to the limit.
Man, we covered a lot of shit today, especially, Jim Cornette running from us and blocking us. So everybody out there, remember, tweet at the real Jim Cornette. I
can't believe that happened.
Everybody needs to do that. Get on and look at his podcast. You don't have to listen to his garbage if you don't want to. But there's an email address on there. Email his fucking ass and be like, why are you a chicken shit? I'd like to see... I'd like to see a bunch of people fucking doing that. That'd be pretty awesome. I was checking Twitter as we were kind of going along here, and just about every wrestling Twitter page right now is like retweeting and liking our fucking last post about him blocking us. So that's pretty cool. I got my dog barking in the damn background, which is wonderful. But we did have some football.
I got money guns over there.
Yeah, I can't close out this show with the damn dog being like this.
The draft's going to be awesome.
Yeah, we did that. We got a lot of wrestling talk. We kind of educated Justin a little bit on some wrestling.
Hell yeah. That's what I was saying.
He kind of educated us on some, too, with the underground shows around his area, and then told him to go watch one. That's
absolutely. Found out his favorite football position is the tight end.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
He learned on Friday night.
For reasons other than being, a football player. But and Tony,
listen,
as usually,
if you want to enjoy legal weed in New Jersey, you can come see me in person in Gloucester City, which is the city we were talking about with the wrestling earlier, at a place called Jalapenos. Just look it up. And
I'll come and check that out for sure.
Yeah. Not just to see me play live music, but also to enjoy legal weed.
We're all going to have to hit up the open mic night at this Jalapenos so we can
we'll hit the open mic, and I might have to grab a guitar with you.
We can entertain the millions
and millions.
So,
Tony, what's going on with you over there?
Yeah, Tony, last word.
Tony's
buddy.
got the eyebrows going everywhere.
People's eyebrow, yeah.
What you got for last words there, Tony?
I hope you guys are seeing this on YouTube.
With me. I'm enjoying listening to the other three idiots here. But I do want to give a shout out. I can't remember the damn name. I'm sorry. But we did get a message from one of our fans, actually listen and watch this. So I want to say, hey, thanks for the message. And if you guys ever want to send us a message, please do reach out. We love to hear from you guys. If you want to send out some topics you want us to talk about, anything like that, feel free to reach out and we'll see what we can do for you guys. We appreciate you all listening. Go ahead.
If it's who I'm thinking you're talking about, it's got to be Brad Hunt. Brad Hunt gave us a nice little shout out and gave us all a message, and he's a great guy. Brad, we want you on a show at some point in this. I wish I could have had you on with this when we were talking about wrestling factions, but we'll get you on with some wrestling. I'm pretty sure that's who you're talking about. That's who sent the message to us. But Andy, is it next week we have a special guest?
We do, and I'll touch on what we got there because it's really special, a special episode next week. But I'll let Justin kind of give his final thoughts here. And what you got? What you got there, Justin?
I got nothing except you said Brad Hunt, right? Not Mike Hunt.
Brad Hunt, not Mike Hunt, not Mike Hunt.
Brad Hunt, not Mike Hunt.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
it's Brad Hunt.
Now, we'll be talking about the Batman next time, I hope, because all of us that want to see it will have seen it, and that's about it for me. I hope my ankle gets better, and
You're good.
I send it out to you guys.
2 weeks
Hope
from
your
now.
ankle gets better.
Yeah.
What's 2 weeks from now, there, Tony?
Yeah.
We'll talk about Batman in 2 weeks because, like Andy getting ready to talk about, we got a special guest this week. So
Yeah. So next week, make sure you tune in next week. We got an awesome special guest. We have a military veteran going to be joining us next week to talk about a procedure that he received for PTSD that has almost cured him of his PTSD. This is not something that the VA offers to any of our military veterans. You got to come out of pocket to get this procedure. BACC Charities actually funded the procedure for him. And we're going to have him coming on and talking about what life was like before this procedure and what life is like now. So definitely make sure you tune in and catch that episode. Of course, we'll have some hijinks and some laughs and some shit talk on somebody, I'm sure, because our guest is very good at that kind of thing too. So, but it's going to be a very special episode, and I want to make sure everybody gets the heads up now to make sure you get in and check that one out. So, on that note, anybody else got anything else?
Just enjoy the draft, everybody, and thanks for tuning in. And tits up.
It's up.
All right, everybody. Tits up.